Hi, I'd like to do two things here. One is to give you a short introduction to the readings, which I'll do in a minute, and then the first is to talk a little bit about the IPCC report that was released on Friday. That report, the summary report, is available on our website on the home page over on the left-hand side. Look for scroll down a little bit and look on the left-hand side. Look for IPCC, and you'll be able to download it. They've made a number of really important recommendations in this report and observations. I believe that the report is still more conservative than the reality suggests. I believe it's a little outdated, just as Ram had suggested it would be, but it makes some very important observations and one really critical recommendation. And that recommendation is to limit the number of metric tons of carbon that we put into the atmosphere. They suggest we can't go beyond the 1 trillionth ton, which at current rates we're going to approach before you guys retire shortly after I retire, I guess. Anyway, in 2040 or so, maybe a few years after I retire. Anyways, take a look at the report. It's going to be in the media a lot, and we'll want to pay attention to it. Okay, now for the readings. There's one longer reading, a short video, an optional reading, and an optional video. Gus Beth's chapters 6 and 7 are what I want you to read. Two important chapters. The first looks at the relationship between economic prosperity and measures of happiness. You might be surprised to learn that a whole bunch of things that you think would be correlated with happiness aren't. Here are five. First, that doesn't correlate with happiness is age. Another is gender. Luckily for me, good looks has no relationship to happiness. There's a very tiny correlation between IQ and happiness, and a very small relationship between education and happiness, which is curious. There's a bunch of things that do relate to happiness. I want you to read about those in the chapter and be ready to talk about them on Tuesday. The chapter 7 is a challenging chapter. It suggests that, well, gosh, if economic prosperity isn't really driving happiness, at least up to a minimum point, what about all the consumption that we're engaged in? What's the relationship between consumption and happiness? And are there alternatives to the patterns that we've been engaging? And certainly this picks up on some of the stuff that Annie Leonard talked about in the story of stuff that we looked at Thursday. After you read chapters 6 and 7, take a look at the Ray Anderson video, which will be short and lovely. The optional reading is Plan B from Lester Brown. It's his first chapter in Plan B. Really, it's an important work. Lovely to have you read it, and I'd be happy to talk about it if you have questions. Then there's the little video on the true cost of gasoline that I promised I'd put up. So those are the readings for Tuesday, along with the IPCC report. Looking forward to talking with you about it Tuesday afternoon. Bye.